Now, the common understanding of the middle way is simply this teaching. It's as if it's a balance point between the two opposites. This is the common understanding, this is the way it's often taught, this is the way it's often portrayed, and yet this misses the really deep revelation, the really deep nature of this truth is almost always missed, because the middle way on the surface of things is simply not to get caught in extremes, but it's also when you're not getting caught in extremes, and you can check this out for yourself, even in this moment, when you are not pushing anything away, when you're not trying to change anything, not pushing anything away, anything, 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 and you're not reaching for anything, you're not trying to attain anything, you're not moving one step beyond where you are. So when you're not pushing anything away and you're not grasping anything, immediately there is peace. There is quiet. You can't say what that place is when you're not pushing away and you're not grasping. If you call it a name, it's just going to be another description in dualistic language. But if you can actually taste it by simply, for just a moment, not pushing anything away and not reaching for anything. And that is a state of perfect stillness. You're not even trying to be still. No effort is being made to be still. Just not pushing, not grasping. This actually makes everything, spiritually speaking, possible. Until you get to this place, until you get to this doorway, basically all you're doing is wrestling with duality. Do you see what I mean? That's all we're doing until we finally get to the place where we're not pushing away and we're not grasping. Okay? And as soon as we're not pushing or grasping, there's a totally different state of consciousness that starts to become part of your experience. It starts to arise within your experience. And this is really the essence of meditation. Don't push away. Don't reach for. You don't need to know what else to do because there's nothing else to do. Your doing has been neutralized, you see? Because all doing is either reaching for or pushing away, is it not? I'm trying to get away from this or get rid of that, and I'm trying to get more of this or more of that. This is doing. Not pushing away and not grasping means there's no doing. Or what they call in the East, non-doing. So that not doing is not understood as a directive like, don't do. Because then you'll get all upset about that. Non-doing means just don't push away and don't grasp. And then there's this other state of consciousness that becomes available. And egoic mind is neutralized in that place. Egoic mind must be grasping for or pushing away. You notice? It has to be doing one of those two things, otherwise it's neutralized. Otherwise, at that instant, it does not exist. This is why in real meditation, and I don't mean that meditation is only times when you're, doing some formal types of meditation. You can just be sitting in a bus stop. You can be having a cup of tea. You can actually be talking to somebody, and if nothing in you is trying to push anything away and nothing in you is trying to grasp something, which is extraordinarily rare for a human being, then you will be in a state of peace. You will be in a state of meditation. Your ego will not be running the show. As soon as you start to get the energy of pushing away or grasping for, the energy of ego has arisen, and now you're in a whole different state of consciousness. So this teaching of the middle way is not only a way of opening within consciousness an entry point into spiritual awakening. It becomes a point of entry. Don't push away, don't grasp. But once you enter, once you actually go into that place, into that state within yourself, which is extraordinarily quiet, once you act, just let it happen, then you may start to realize the deeper teaching of the middle way, which the middle way is not just a state between two pairs of opposites, between grasping and rejecting, or loving and hating, or liking and disliking, but it's actually also a description of ultimate reality. Because ultimate reality is beyond the pairs of opposites. It's neither this nor that. It's comparatively, it's simply an immensity in which the pairs of opposites are just sort of floating. It's that mystery in its unmanifest form. It's your own nature in unmanifest form. This profound immensity. So this vastness, this immensity that reveals itself to be your very nature is not a place between the opposites, it's that which encompasses the opposites. It's very different from a nice, balanced place between. See, that a conventional mind can understand, but that which encompasses opposites is something different altogether. It's a completely different revelation. It's a completely different understanding of the ultimate reality. Your ultimate reality of you is that which is beyond and embracing all of the opposites. And this understanding of the middle way is much, much bigger. This is an understanding of the middle way that's not an aid to spiritual practice, it's actually a description of ultimate reality. So the middle way is always beyond the pairs of opposites, and it's expressing itself through the pairs of opposites. This is why when you really wake up to your true nature, when you really enter this point between the pairs of opposites, not pushing and not grasping. If you want a spiritual practice, that's the practice. Don't push away and don't grasp. But take it to its farthest, the farthest you can possibly take it. Not pushing away and not grasping. Take it to the subtlest, subtlest, subtlest states of consciousness within yourself. To the subtlest states of not mind, not pushing, not grasping. It's take this very deeply. It's actually the essence of spiritual practice itself. And when you do, and you really let go in that place which is beyond the pairs of opposites, in that place you realize your true nature. It's possible to realize your true nature. Because your true nature has nothing to do with the pairs of opposites. Your true nature has nothing to do with male or female. It has nothing to do with good or bad. It has nothing to do with worthy or unworthy. It has absolutely nothing to do with what you think about yourself or what you think about others. It's completely beyond the pairs of opposites. Your true nature. It's almost as if it's that eternal gaze, which is simply not defining itself through the opposites, through language, through description. So within everybody, even in this moment, in this room and elsewhere, that your true nature is already completely beyond the pairs of opposites. Does that make sense? Although there are opposites. If you look down, you can see your body is male or female. Your thoughts will be existing in opposites. All thoughts exist within the opposites. You'll have feelings that you think are good or you think are bad. So the world of opposites still is experienced. But when you're really awake, no longer do you define yourself or others or the world through opposites. You've seen that opposites are basically very illusory by nature. And they cloud the perception of oneness. It doesn't mean the perception of opposites are bad. It just means if you're not careful, they cloud the perception of oneness. That all things are one, that you are the one.